How's everybody doing? Billy Big Balls here. This is me first episode of my podcast. Have me assistant here, Craig, with me. Give me a dig out tonight.
Yep.
All right, Craig.
What's happening, Bill?
How's things? All good, yeah?
Good, mate. Same old.
Happy days.
Ready to rock?
Ready to rock and roll.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Right, we'll start off. Who is Billy and where's Billy from?
Billy is me. I drink sparkling water. Best shit you can get, man.
Dord.
Don't be listening to anybody else. Anybody tells you sparkling water is for fucking fruits, don't mind them. It's for normal people like myself. But Billy's from Ringsend. And growing up in Ringsend, I have some great memories of the place, you know. The only thing I'll say about Ringsend is when you were in school years ago, you know, when people from Ringsend, people from everywhere I suppose, but when you were in school years ago, people say, remember you when you were in school years ago, you were a fucking prick. Yeah, man. Everybody that was in school years ago was a fucking prick, you know. You were a cunt to this way. No, but you think me, everyone was nice to me in school, you know what I mean? So, like, you know, things that happened in school, people still hold against me. You know, you were a prick and you were this and that. Listen, whatever happened to me in school or happened before that, I don't give a bollocks what happened. I don't care about anything that happened years ago. Like, it's all done, you know what I mean? I'm a different person than I was, you know what I mean? And not only that, I couldn't really give a bollocks what anybody thinks, you know what I mean? Your opinion's your opinion. My opinion to me is better than your opinion to me. And my opinion to me matters to me, not your opinion, you know what I mean? But anyway, we're getting away from that. But growing up in Ringsend, I have some great memories down there. It was a deadly place. When we were young, you know what I mean? It was like, your goal was, you know, when you get out of school, like you're 16, 17, you know what I mean? People saying, you on the labour yet, you know? Oh, no, I'm getting there, you know? And then when you got on the labour, you know, people like, you know, are you on the labour now? Yeah, fair play to you, man. No, you know, like it was like your goal to get on the labour, you know? But I remember going into town one time, you know? The cameraman, he was there with me, you know? We went into town one time, we were going in to get a tattoo, you know? We went into this tattoo shop and we gets into the tattoo shop and fucking, there was a board, right? Like that, on the table getting a tattoo right here. We were like 15 and all, we were like, Jesus Christ, I see a woman in the bleeding thing there. We went in anyway, right? One bloke that was with us, he's like 18, he looked about 18, he was only about 14. But he had little stubble and all, you know what I mean? Fucking. Anyway, we gets up to the bleeding tattoo. You says to your man, any chance we get this done, you know what I mean? Actually, I got all these tattoos done off him, you know what I mean? He says, listen, you can get a tattoo, but you need a note from your ma. And we were like, a note from your ma? How are we going to get a note from your ma? We live in Ringsend. Like, we're in town, we'll have to get the bus home, bus back in. It was like, fuck that shit. We went around the corner, we met this security guard. And we says to him, here, buddy, any chance of writing us a letter? He said, please give my son a tattoo. We went back around to the tattoo shop. Your man gave us a tattoo. Fucking crazy it was.
No old school Indian ink tattoos.
Look at this shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, did that in the park. You know what I mean? Few blading, few beers, few this, few that. You know what I mean? Fucking Indian ink. We were so young when we were going in to get our tattoos, you didn't know what to be getting, you know what I mean? What you want? Oh, put my name. You end up, you have your name, about 20 different tattoos all over you know what I mean? But, yeah, so that's a good story about rings, but I have loads of stories about rings, and we'll get into it in another time, you know what I mean?
Flats, did you, bro?
I grew up in the flats, yeah. Leyden, great neighbours, great spot, Leyden. Yeah, good community, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really have anything to say about my neighbours because they're still my neighbours, you know what I mean? But
have to keep them out, sure.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But now here, I know the flats are bleeding deadly. They're fucking great, you know what I mean? Like, everyone in the flats is in the same position, you know what I mean? So, like, you never really get anybody robbing you in the flats, you know what I mean? You don't get your gaff kicked in or fucking, you know, we'd be in place and people say, oh, my gaff got robbed today, and I'd be like, fucking hell, no way. No one really robs you in the flats because, to be honest with you, everyone that's in the flats has fuck all, you know what I mean? So you'd be only robbing nothing, you know what I mean?
And what were you up to when you were growing up?
Mad shit, man. Like, you know, I'd probably save a few stories for a few more episodes because it's a bit early to be getting cancelled, you know what I mean? For the stories that we got up to. Like, we got up to mad shit, like crazy shit, you know what I mean? Like, fucking, everybody I grew up with. Fucking sound, you know what I mean? But I'll tell you a story, right? Fucking one Paddy's night, we all played and says, right, listen, we'll go out, we'll get into this old gaff, you know, fucking gaff was in bits. We says, we'll get in there, right, and we'll have a blade and we'll have a party in it, right? So we all got into this gaff and played and we were having a few drinks. There was one bloke with us, right? He drank a blade and Lucas a bottle full of whiskey, right? Man, he was in bits, shitting all over the place. He was fucking falling around the place. He was in a hula hoop, right? And we were all there, and we're, you know, different groups in different parts of the house. We're all there, and another bloke fucking there blading, you know, falling around. And there's a fella chopping a blade in a bit of woods. Your man put his hand down, bang, straight through his finger. And the bloke was like that, oh, me finger. What am I going to tell me teacher on Monday? I won't be able to do any work and all this. And we were all there like, what the fuck, your finger's hanging off? And he was like, it's grand, it's grand. So we were playing, we had a mad session in the gaff and we were all leaving, right? And the bloke that was with us, we're looking for him, the fella who drank all the whiskey. We're like, where's Blade thing? And he was like, everyone's like, I don't know, where is he? And someone looked up and says, there he is there! He was between two floorboards, hanging down. He's just hanging there, right? So we tried to take him from upstairs. We couldn't get him. So we pulled him down, right? Whatever happened, the blade and fell down onto the ground anyway. We're all like, right, listen, we need to get, everyone's leaving, so we get out of here, right? So we blade and starts taking him out of this blade in place. And it was like fucking blocks going up to get out a window, you know? And we're getting him out, and we couldn't get him out, right? And we're dragging him up the steps and all, right? His trousers ended up fucking around his ankles, right? And he was covered in shite. And there was a blade nail stuck on the fucking windowsill. And blade and cut his arse. Ripped his arse, fucking blood everywhere, shit everywhere, fucking, just a mad thing. But that's the type of shit we got up to. And like, we were just, everybody that we hung around with were all mad. The whole area was mad, you know what I mean? But it was funny and it was good. We had like great crack, you know what I mean? There was no such thing as mobile phones or internet or anything. It was fucking deadly. Because if there had been mobile phones and things like, we'd be probably all locked up now, you know what I mean? For the mad shit we got up to, you know?
How did you end up getting into the videos with the Versatile Boys?
The Versatile Boys, I fucking, I started going to a gym down, well, I started going to this gym, you know, down in Irishtown, and there was blokes there in the gym, fucking, from all over Dublin. There was like a rehab across the road from me, you know what I mean? These blokes were all getting off, all in different stages of recovery, you know? And I was at the going through recovery myself. I did it myself, you know what I mean? I didn't go into rehab or anything like that, you know what I mean? But I'll talk about that another time. But, so I used to go to the gym, fucking met some mad cunts over there, but sound blokes, you know what I mean? From all over Dublin, you know what I mean? All just got into drugs, you know? People think, like, you know, people on drugs, they're pricks, the scumbags now. Some of the nicest people you'll ever meet were drug addicts. They just... shit happens, you know what I mean? It's like, you just get caught up in shit, you know what I mean? Look, we'll talk about that another time, but I just met loads of blokes over there, had a bleeding great time, loved going to the gym, fucking met some really good blokes, really good friends. And then Alex and fucking Casey and fucking load of other little young flits used to be there, you know, because they were only little young flits at the time. They were only probably 17 or 16 or whatever, you know what I mean? And we used to play and used to be buzzing with them, you know. But I'd be talking to Alex, he'd be asking me mad questions and he'd be thinking, this bloke's taking the piss out of me, you know what I mean? He'd be asking me stupid things, you know. But he says to me one time, well, look, what's your diet like for the gym, you know? And I said, oh, me? I have cheese toasty and a bleeding Kinder Bueno before I come over, you know what I mean? Whack the muscles out of it, you know, buzzing. Every time I seen him, oh, did you have your cheese toasty and your thing today? And I was like, I shouldn't have told him, you know what I mean? But anyway, fucking... he told me, like, oh, we made a video. We made a music video, and me and Casey made a fucking video if you want to see it. And he started showing me, and I was like, oh, that's cool and all, yeah. And he goes, listen, we're making another one. Would you be into getting in it? And I was like, no, I'm not really into that kind of shit, you know what I mean? Like, fucking, everyone's seeing you everywhere, you know what I mean? And he goes, no, this is like for a school project. Only about 2 people are going to see it. So I said, all right, fuck, I'll jump in, you know? So I did the video with them. And fucking, everywhere I went, people were singing Amber Leaf to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And the thing got like 2 million views or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of went viral.
It went fucking viral, man. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was thinking, what the fuck's going on? So they started getting popular then. So they asked me to get in another one. They said to me, we get in this other blading video, Mad Scene. So I just said, yeah, fuck it, you know. Goes down to do the video. You're going to be hanging a copper, he says. I says, what? He goes, you're going to be hanging a copper.
Yeah, I love that part.
Yeah, that was the fucking, you know what I mean? I was like, all them coppers that were cunts to me when I was growing up, it was like, get there, you bastard, you. But, so then they start getting more popular, and they asked me just to jump in videos every play now and again, you know, hey, you can jump into this video, you know. But the last video I did with Alex, the spitting your cunt, that was the maddest fucking video I've ever been involved in. Like, how I got to do that one, he rang me up and says to me, yeah, listen, Billy, would you be into jumping in the video? And I was like, yeah, cool, what is it about? It's just a music video. I was cool, okay, no problem. He says, someone will pick you up Sunday morning, blah, blah, blah. Rings me. Someone's going to pick you up in the blade an hour. Next minute, someone else rang me. Yeah, Billy, we have a lift, we're going up. We're driving up in the car, and they're saying to me, do you know anything about the video and all? I was like, no. And they were like, what? And he says, you don't know anything about it? And I was like, no, why would I? Fucking, I'm just getting into a blading video. And they were like, no, it's about spitting in some ounce cunt and all. I said, fuck off, that's a spoof. And they were like, no, seriously. So he gets up to this fucking Freemasons building. That's when they told me this in the Freemasons building. I was like, the Freemasons? Are they not nod, wink, wink heads, you know what I mean? And so he gets up, this someone walks past us. And I says to one of the boys, I said, look at her, she's in the wrong place, you know what I mean? Next minute she's up on the stage, whipping her knickers down, spitting my cunt. I'm like, what's going on here? And then he started telling me, this is what the video is about. And I'm like, fuck off, are you serious? Where do you come up with this shit? Like, your head's a scary fucking place, man. He comes up with some mad jokes, you know? But the Capone and Ultras, that was the best, you know?
People kind of fed into that, didn't they?
Fucking people like thinking like that was real. I was like, I didn't think there were still people like that in the world, you know what I mean? That fucking stupid, that think that this is fucking real, you know what I mean? I remember someone said to me one day, you know, Jesus Christ, my son was showing me the video of you killing the cats. I says, what? First of all, there's no video of me killing any bleeding cats. All I was just talking about, it's a fucking spoof. And she was like, it's a spoof? I said, it's not real. Isn't that? I thought it was real and all. I was like, come on. But the best was, right, a bloke I know, right, I'm not mentioning his fucking name because he'd be embarrassed as fuck about this. But he says to me, how do you think the owls that you deliver the sandwiches to during the day feel that you're killing the cats at night? I said, first of all, I don't fucking deliver sandwiches to any owls, and I don't kill any cats. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But people are like, you know, fuck, you know, I've no words for some people, you know what I mean? If you think that's real, like, you need to go and give your head a shake, you know what I mean? Because, like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so that's kind of how I met them. I met them through going to the gym, you know what I mean? Like, if I hadn't gone to the gym, I probably would have never met them, you know what I mean? But the gym is great. It's great for the head, you know? Like, as you can see,
it's working well.
It's working well, you know what I mean? Look at the size of my head, it's tiny. My belly's fucking huge. So there you go. But other than that, see that sparkling water?
Stay away.
Get on that stuff, man, I'm telling you. See people that don't drink sparkling water, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what you're drinking. So yeah, get on to the sparkling water. Not only that, get on to Unify. Billy Big Balls podcast wouldn't be what it is without Unify. Yeah, I remember years ago you were in school, you know what I mean? And you say like, oh, what kind of music do you like, you know what I mean? Oh, I like Queen. You're gay. And everything, no matter what you fucking did, you're gay. No, I'm not gay. You know, if you wasn't into Bob Marley, there was something wrong with you, or you before, there was something wrong with you, you know what I mean? You wasn't like normal, you know what I mean? And anybody, you know what I mean? The boys is fucking, boys down the new houses, two of them, they used to dress like AC/DC, you know, with their hair and all. They weren't even into AC/DC, they were into some other kind of rock, you know? But you'd be going by and you'd be like, look at that fucking hippie, you know, you'd be slagging the bollocks out of them. And then later in life, you get to meet these people, not to get to meet, you get to know them, you know what I mean? You just know them from coming down and getting a bit of hash in the park or whatever, you know what I mean? Then you get to know them and you turn out to be the bleeding soundest cunts you'll ever come across, you know what I mean? And these boys were way ahead of us, you know what I mean? These boys were making videos for, they had a band, and they were making videos for the thing. They used to have, there used to be a bloke from Rings End, right? He used to walk around like doing Michael Jackson and all, you know what I mean? And they had them in the video, doing Michael Jackson and all, like, you know, and there was another fella, fucking Dave, he used to go around with a guitar. They got him into the video, playing the guitar, like, mad off the wall videos. But if you seen someone making it today, you'd say, that's fucking genius, you know what I mean? But these boys were way ahead of themselves, you know what I mean? And we used to be, you'd be slagging them, you know what I mean? Look at them hippies and all, you know? And then, like I say, when you get to know people, it's like everything, you know what I mean? You see people going by in the street, it's just in your nature to make assumption of who they are and that, then you're right, you know what I mean? Like when you're walking with someone or something, you know, and you come across some bloke and so you see him, he's a fucking prick. Everybody says about him, see him, he's a shy bag. You get to know him and he's fucking sound. Turns out that everybody I was telling you he's a shy bag is a shy bag, you know what I mean? Fucking, but that's just, you know, growing up, you know. But Rings End, yeah, just like the boys, they were fucking like I say, anything, no matter what it was. If say a crowd was doing this and you like that, you're gay. You're gay, he's gay, they're gay, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's gay, you know? Fuck off, man. It was only later in life that I started listening to, like, Queen and fucking Rolling Stones and bleeding David Bowie and all, and you're like, man, I missed out on all this shit. Because if I said I liked it, someone would say I was gay, and you don't want to be tagged with that, you know what I mean? Fuck's sake. But that's what growing up, you know what I mean? That's what the times were like when I was growing up. Nowadays, it's like, you know, the kids nowadays, like, oh, fucking man. All they do is watch a fucking screen. That's it. You know what I mean? And then they start talking to you in like an American accent. And shut the fuck up. I'm glad I have no kids. Because if they came in and started talking American accents to me, they get a smack of that bleeding iPad off their head. You know what I mean? But, yeah, fucking... And even nowadays, like, see, even, like, the boys nowadays, you know what I mean? You see boys going around crackers, you know, fucking lovely looking boys. And the blokes, you think, the blokes have a handy and all that, but the blokes are into looking better. They're all doing their hair in the mirror. They don't give a bollocks about some boys going by. They're not looking at her. They're looking at themselves in the mirror, fixing their hair. That's gay! But you know what I mean? That's the way life is, you know what I mean? Fucking people, like, you know. Like I say, you know, fucking... People, it's different times, you know. Nowadays, like, you know, it's like the young kids nowadays, like, it's, I don't know what this playing story is with them, you know. It's like you see young kids nowadays, they're all mad into the weed, you know. As soon as you look at them wrong, they're all aggressive. When I was younger, smoking weed made you mellow out, man. Chill out, be happy, you know what I mean? I think there's something being sprayed in the weed today because all the young blokes going around, they're all mad aggressive. Fighting with each other all the time and all. When I was younger, I was like the way it was in the 70s, you know what I mean? Peace and love, man, you know what I mean? You smoke a joint, the last thing you want to do is batter somebody. You know, you bleed and start talking shit, you have the munchies. Nowadays, it's like people are smoking weed and they're getting all aggressive and I don't know what type of weed they're smoking, but I don't want any of it. Take me back to the 70s. That's a wrap.